Wait, so you have a potential private money lender interested in sitting with you and discussing your potential deal, but you're panicking because you don't know what to do because you don't have anything prepared? Well, I got you. So, in this video, I will share with you 4 steps to help you overcome this hurdle. Step 1, I'll show you exactly how to schedule a private meeting with a potential private money lender. Step 2, I will show you exactly how to prepare for the meeting to ensure you're prepared. Step 3, I will actually help you prepare your pitch deck that you can present to your private money lender. And step 4, I will help you when if your private money lender is not ready to commit, what is the next step you need to do. But first, grab your free resource, Top 5 Places to Raise Private Money. I have this great PDF for you, absolutely free. Look for the information in the description below. My name is Amir Khan. I'm a real estate investor, mentor, and coach based here in Dallas, Texas. I've been in real estate on the both residential and commercial side for over 25 years, and I've developed specific advanced private money raising strategies. I've developed systems and I have tools that I teach. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you one of the most important aspect dealing with a potential private money lender or a PML, doing a presentation using a pitch deck. This is specific for residential real estate. All right, so before I talk about the actual presentation using a pitch deck, by the way, this the term pitch deck, there are other terms as well. So in case you're wondering, it's also called an investor presentation. It's called an investor proposal. Some people call it a slide deck. Some people call it a credibility kit. They're all the same. I like to use the word pitch deck. All right. Now, ideally, before you even schedule a meeting with a potential private money lender, you should know some details about your private money lender. What I like to say is it should be a list of few questions you should be asking them, and the purpose of these questions is to determine whether your real estate investment deals offer a solution that is a good match for their needs. Because think about it, if you don't know what they're looking for and your solution may or may not even help them, you might be wasting not only your time, you'll be wasting their time. All right, so my first suggestion is to create a short 3 or 4 questions, prepare them, and that will help you, I say, qualify your potential private money lender. And here are my suggestions for you, 3 questions that you could potentially ask them. Question 1 could be, are you currently or have you in past been a private money lender for real estate deals? That will tell you, whether they have experience working as a private money lender. Question 2 is, with your current real estate investment or non-real estate investments that they're involved with, what kind of returns are you getting? That will also tell you, if they're getting really decent, handsome returns or they're really suffering. And finally, you could ask them why specifically are they exploring to work with you, right? That'll tell you what they know about you. So now these types of questions, like I said, greatly help you pre-qualify your potential private money lender, and you can make a decision whether you need to schedule a meeting with them. Maybe it's too early, maybe they do not meet the minimum requirement that you're looking for. So very, very, very helpful before you can even set up a meeting. All right, so let's assume that they are qualified and they could be a good potential private money lender. Your step 1 is to schedule a private meeting. Now right here, you need to be very careful, right? So there's basically two ways you can have a meeting with them. You can have an in-person meeting, or you could schedule a online meeting. So I'm going to talk about both of them, right? So let's start with an in-person meeting. First, what I would do is make sure that the meeting is held in a well-known place for you, or a place that you have total control over. For example, it could be your office or even your home. Now, if you cannot meet in an ideal place, then always choose a place that is quiet and has minimum distractions. A lot of people have meetings in coffee shops or loud restaurants. They are the worst. I would stay away from those because there's a lot of distractions going on, and you don't want that. And finally, once you have chosen the place, ensure your potential private money lender has directions and have the confirmed date and time for your in-person meeting. All right. Now, online meeting is a lot easier. If that is what you're exploring, these are a couple of things that I would highly recommend. First of all, please use online platforms. Almost everybody is using this right now, and they're very easy to use. These include the two things you definitely need is Calendly and Zoom. Calendly is a online platform that allows your potential prospects to schedule a meeting online. It literally shows a calendar. They can pick a date and time. Both Calendly and Zoom have free versions, and you're absolutely fine with using the free version. In Calendly, make sure when you set up Calendly, it is linked with your personal calendar if you have one. For example, if you use Google Calendar, what it'll do is it will avoid your current commitments so that you're not overbooked. And so those settings have to be set up correctly. And you definitely want to make sure that you test your link and make sure that it's working. And finally, once you have a Zoom account set up and your Calendly set up, you can link them together. And that is the beauty of it, which means as soon as your prospects schedule a meeting with you using your Calendly link, it automatically generates a unique Zoom meeting and ID for that specific time and day. So that's great. All right. So that is step one, which is setting up a meeting. Now we're going to go on to step two, which is preparing for your meeting. Now let's talk about your in-person meeting, right? So if you're doing an in-person meeting, ensure you remind your potential PML a day before confirming the date and time, so everybody's on the same page. When you arrive at the location, especially if it's in your office or home, it's easy. But let's say it's at another place. Make sure you arrive early, set up your laptop, which I would recommend if you're making a digital pitch deck presentation. Arrive early, set up your laptop, and queue to the first page. If you're using printed pitch deck, then make sure everything is neatly organized and you have everything ready on the table. The last thing you want to do is fumble with your presentation while your private money lender is looking at you. So you want to come across very organized. Now for the online meeting, obviously this assumes you are using a digital version and you have a slideshow, and I'm going to talk about it in a moment. The first caution is that if you're using a free version of Zoom does not send automatic reminders to the people who have scheduled that meeting. Calendly does, but Zoom does not. So I would suggest that either you should have a manual reminder system set up, so at least a day before the presentation, and I would also do an hour prior to the meeting, send a reminder to your prospect. Even then, I've had situation, even with all these reminders, you log in and your prospect or your guest hasn't showed up. Well, then what I do is I always have my email open and my text messaging service open, and I send them a quick reminder, hey, I'm online right now and waiting for you. Many times I've found that people just forgot, and those reminders help. All right, now this is the time you should be finalizing your pitch deck, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, whether it's a hard copy or it's a soft copy. But before that, just let me remind you again, I have a free My Top 5 Places to Raise Private Money PDF, great resource. Details are in the description, so please grab that. All right, so moving on, let's go on to step 3, where we are actually now going to prepare your pitch deck. So your pitch deck is the most important communication instrument that will clearly and precisely outline the important aspects of your real estate investment, and ideally you should be spending substantial amount of your time preparing and fine-tuning your pitch deck. And I have 7 top suggestions for you that will help you with that. All right, so let's start with my first suggestion. Number 1, first I would start by creating a basic one-page summarized version of your offering. This should include all important aspects of your investment, and these include your contact information, your terms, funding needs, sample number, a sample deal with numbers, and next steps for your potential private money lender to work with you. When you do this actually itself becomes an important document, and we call this a one-pager. and it's like a summarized version of your pitch deck. All right, but we are not done. Now what we're gonna do in step 2, my second suggestion for you is, now you imagine you have to explain this in a 20-minute presentation. This one page that you created, you're going to explain that in 20 minutes. So now you're going to basically expand your one pager into a slideshow version, all right, which will be your pitch deck. So you can use anything. You can use PowerPoint, you can use Keynote, you can use Canva. I've used Canva with great success. So, and these are all free versions. If you can, find, I'm sure you can find free versions of some of those software as well. Now, while not necessary, adding graphics on your pitch deck greatly affects another dimension. However, I've noticed that if you put a lot more unnecessary graphics or text, it just distracts your prospects. So just remember this: your most important goal from your pitch deck is clarity for your potential private money lender. You want to be absolutely clear about what you're offering. All right. Now, another suggestion I have, because I do see a lot of pitch decks from potential investors, and one common mistake I see is that investor talks about themselves. They spend a lot of slides just explaining who they are, what they do, and all that kind of stuff. My suggestion is just have something about yourself, tell them about who you are, what your experience is, but limit it to one slide only. It's not necessary more than that. But dedicate most of your time, I would say up to 70%, explaining your model, and make sure you have at least one sample deal. That is one of the most important aspects. But I will give you specifics of what you should put in your pitch deck. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. In your pitch deck, you should include following sections. Most of them are required, and I'll tell you which are optionals. Number 1, you should have a brief investment disclaimer statement that tells them, all the things that they need to know before investing with you. You can find a disclaimer online. You should have, that's required. Number 2, you should have something about yourself, explaining who you are. Also required. You should mention something about your mission if you like. It's not necessary, it's optional, but it adds a really good touch. Next, what is your investment model? This is required. Definitely have that and dedicate a lot of your time explaining that. You should have a sample deal. Required. You should have financials that explains the investment terms, returns, and when the principal is going to be returned. Also required. You should also include your typical funding investment amount and your process. So that is also required. You could also add a FAQ section. This is optional. If you want to, you can, but it's not required. What the next steps are, this should be clearly laid out and it's required. And finally, your contact information also required. Sometimes people assume that when they're making a presentation, contact information is not required. Remember, especially if you're making a presentation online and there's a recording of it, and if it's been forwarded to someone, it's to your benefit that your contact information is actually on the pitch deck. All right, now here comes the most important part. Believe it or not, just having your pitch deck is not enough. You need to practice. The next most important step presenting your pitch deck is to know your stuff. Now, I would caution you, never use an AI like ChatGPT to create your entire pitch deck. You can definitely get ideas from ChatGPT about the section, how you want to structure it, but write your own pitch deck. Because I can tell you with experience, if you do that, and when you're making a presentation, you will fumble on words that are not yours. But if you actually create your own pitch deck, it'll flow naturally. And your potential private money lender will notice that. So make sure you pay attention to that. And your final step is fine-tuning your pitch deck. This is where what you do is, if you find your pitch deck is longer than 20 minutes, then what you're doing is you're going in and taking out the fluff. Some of the stuff that is not necessary, some of the language or sections that are completely unnecessary, you can take them out. And so what your goal is to make your presentation 20 minutes or less. In my experience making hundreds of presentations, is that up to 20 minutes you have people's attention. After that, people start getting bored and distracted. All right, so congratulations, that is how you create your pitch deck, and now it's going to be ready. I'm going to talk about one more thing. This is very important. A lot of time after you get to the end of the pitch deck, if you do not get a commitment, a lot of investors don't have anything set up. I would suggest set up a follow-up system for your potential PMLs, and I have some recommendations for you. And this is the purpose of this is that not all your prospects will sign up, as you know, and you should have a follow-up system in place so all of these people who are not ready yet may be ready to work with you in the future. All right, so I've got four suggestions for you. Number one, set up a system where you have some kind of a CRM setup. CRM, as you know, is a simple software that records and stores your prospects' information and all the communication that you have with them. There are lots of free versions out there. You can use software like HubSpot, and they're really easy to use. All right, so that's number one. Number two, I would suggest set up drip marketing using an email marketing software. Again, there are lots of free versions out there like MailChimp. And what they do is they allow you to set up your audience, which is what your database of your prospects is, and then create a campaign. It is a series of emails that you can send them over a course of over a period of time. All right, you can either pre-write your email or you can send them one blast email about a news or a deal that you have in works. All right, now finally, there's another thing you can do which actually will save you a lot of time, is set up simple automation. This simply means certain part of your prospect management is done automatically at the back end. You can actually set up some automation using your CRM, but if your CRM does not allow you to set up this automation, you can set it up in Zapier. And a quick example of automation process is when a prospects, let's say you meet a prospect and after the meeting they're not ready, you add them in your database, and as soon as you add them in your CRM, they're automatically added to a campaign in your email marketing system, and then every 1 week or 2 weeks they're getting emails about what you're doing, so you stay on top of their mind. That is really the idea. All right, so there you have it. I've shown you how to create an effective pitch deck and allowing you to make a fantastic presentation to your potential private money lender. If you're interested in working with me, I do have a coaching program where I teach advanced strategies, systems, and provide tools to raise private capital. The details are in the description. Also, don't forget, I have that top 5 places to raise private money PDF also. Look at the description for how you can get that. All right, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care.